Imagine you're an ancient human walking through a forest. You find a tree covered with sweet fruit. Some of it has fallen to the ground. Days have passed. The fruit smells different. It's softer, sweeter, almost bubbling. Curious, you take a bite. Minutes later, the world feels strange. You feel warmer, lighter, maybe even happier. Without knowing it, you may have just become one of the first humans to experience alcohol. But here's the real mystery. Alcohol wasn't invented. It already existed long before humans, long before civilization, even before our own species evolved. So how did ancient humans discover it? Did they intentionally make the world's first drink? Or did nature reveal its secret all by itself? The answer begins millions of years before the first brewery. The story begins not with humans, but with tiny organisms called yeast. Yeast are microscopic fungi. They've existed for hundreds of millions of years. Whenever they find sugary fruit, they begin feeding. As they consume the sugar, they produce two things: carbon dioxide and alcohol. This process is called fermentation. It happens naturally. No barrels, no bottles, no breweries, just fruit, warm weather, and time. In tropical forests, fallen fruit can begin fermenting within days, creating small amounts of alcohol all by itself. And humans weren't the first animals to notice. Elephants have been seen eating fermented fruit. Chimpanzees sometimes consume naturally fermented foods. Even birds and monkeys have been observed eating overripe fruit containing alcohol. Nature had already invented alcohol long before humans ever took their first sip. But this raises an even bigger question. If alcohol was everywhere, why didn't it poison our ancestors? The answer may already have been written inside human DNA. Scientists have discovered something remarkable. Humans aren't just able to drink alcohol. Our bodies are built to process it. Deep inside your liver is an enzyme called ADH, short for alcohol dehydrogenase. Its job is to break alcohol down. Without it, even tiny amounts of alcohol could be deadly. But here's where the story gets fascinating. Researchers believe around 10 million years ago, one of our ancient ape ancestors developed a powerful genetic mutation. This mutation made alcohol much easier to digest. Why? Because as forests changed, more fruit began falling onto the ground. Instead of eating fruit directly from trees, our ancestors increasingly searched the forest floor, and fallen fruit was often already fermenting. Individuals who could safely digest small amounts of alcohol had access to more food, while others had to avoid it. Over thousands of generations, natural selection favored those with the better alcohol processing gene. Long before humans ever brewed beer, evolution had already prepared our bodies to survive nature's first alcoholic drinks. But drinking fermented fruit is very different from intentionally making alcohol. So when did humans realize they could create it themselves? For a long time, humans didn't know how to make alcohol. They simply discovered it. Whenever fruit was left untouched, nature did the work. But everything changed. After the agricultural revolution, around 12,000 years ago, humans stopped wandering and began farming. For the first time, large amounts of grain, fruit, and honey were stored in one place. Sometimes, rainwater mixed with those foods. Wild yeast landed on the mixture. Days passed. Then something unexpected happened. The liquid began bubbling. Its smell changed. Its taste changed. Without realizing it, humans had accidentally created alcohol. Archaeologists have found evidence of fermented drinks in ancient China, dating back nearly 9,000 years. The drink wasn't just made from rice. It also contained honey and fruit, making it one of the oldest known alcoholic beverages ever discovered. Ancient pottery still carries tiny chemical traces that reveal exactly what those early people drank. Soon, similar discoveries appeared in other parts of the world. beer in Mesopotamia, wine in the Caucasus, fermented drinks in Africa and the Americas. Different civilizations made different drinks, but they all discovered the very same natural process: fermentation. What had once happened by accident in fallen fruit was now happening inside human settlements. But people didn't drink alcohol just to become intoxicated. In many places, it became something far more important. At first, alcohol wasn't a party. It was practical. In many ancient settlements, clean drinking water wasn't always easy to find. Water could become contaminated by bacteria or animal waste. Fermented drinks were often safer to store because the brewing process could reduce some harmful microbes. Though it did not make every drink completely safe, many early beers contained much less alcohol than modern beer. They were thick, cloudy, and often consumed as food as much as a drink. Alcohol also became part of celebrations, harvest festivals, weddings, religious ceremonies, and community gatherings. People noticed that sharing a drink brought families together, strengthened friendships, and marked important moments in life. Some ancient cultures even believed fermented drinks were gifts from the gods. Over time, brewing transformed from a happy accident into a carefully learned skill. Recipes were passed down. Ingredients were selected more carefully, and each civilization created its own unique drink. But despite thousands of years of brewing, scientists still wondered why humans enjoy alcohol at all. The answer may lie deep inside the reward system of the human brain. The strange feeling, the warmth, the laughter, the confidence, none of it comes from the drink itself. It comes from your brain. After alcohol enters the bloodstream, it quickly reaches the brain. There, it begins changing the way nerve cells communicate. Some signals become slower, others become stronger. As a result, people often feel more relaxed, less anxious, and more social. Alcohol also affects the brain's reward system, causing the release of dopamine, a chemical linked to pleasure and motivation. For our ancestors, this may have made social gatherings feel even more rewarding. But alcohol has another side. As more is consumed, judgment becomes weaker, reaction times slow down, balance becomes difficult. The very brain that helped humans survive can also become less capable under the influence of alcohol. Ancient people probably noticed this too. Some drank only during special ceremonies. Others created rules about when, where, and how alcohol should be consumed. Over thousands of years, alcohol became more than just a drink. It became part of culture, religion, trade, and even politics. But one mystery still remains. If alcohol could be dangerous, why didn't evolution simply eliminate our attraction to it? The truth is, evolution never designed humans to seek strong alcohol. Our ancestors encountered only small amounts, found naturally in ripe and fermenting fruit. What changed was human creativity. We learned to control fermentation, then improve it. Generation after generation, drinks became stronger, brewing became more advanced, and alcohol spread across civilizations. It was traded across continents, offered to kings, shared among friends, and used in sacred rituals. Today, alcohol is one of the world's oldest traditions. Its story didn't begin in a tavern or a brewery. It began with a piece of fallen fruit lying quietly on the forest floor. A curious ancestor willing to take one bite, and billions of tiny yeast doing what they had always done. Perhaps one simple accident changed human history forever. So, how did ancient humans discover alcohol? They didn't invent it. Nature did. Humans simply learned how to use one of nature's oldest chemical reactions. The next time you see a glass of beer or a bottle of wine, remember, its story began millions of years ago, long before farms, long before cities, long before written history. It began in the wilderness, where fruit naturally fermented under the warmth of the sun. Tiny yeast transformed sugar into alcohol. Animals discovered it. Our ancient ancestors tasted it. And eventually, human curiosity turned a natural accident into one of civilization's oldest traditions. From prehistoric forests to modern celebrations, alcohol has followed humanity for thousands of years, not because humans created it, but because nature revealed its secret first. Sometimes, the greatest discoveries aren't inventions at all. They're simply moments when humans finally understand what nature has been doing all along.